Hello Warriors fans. We are diving straight into everything happening around Golden State right now, and trust me, this season is shaping up to be one of the most layered, dramatic, and consequential chapters in recent Warriors history. As the calendar keeps turning and the pressure slowly ramps up, it's becoming clearer by the game that this team is no longer just trying to survive the season. They are trying to define who they really are, what their ceiling actually looks like, and whether they can still strike fear across the league when it matters most. Every single matchup from this point forward carries weight. Not just in the standings, not just for playoff seeding, but for identity. Momentum matters. Confidence matters. And right now, Golden State is walking that thin line between rediscovering championship rhythm and being exposed by teams that sense hesitation. The return of familiar faces, mixed with opportunities opening up for younger players, has created an atmosphere where every possession feels important. Every defensive stop feels like a statement. Every made three feels like a reminder of who this franchise has been for more than a decade. At the center of it all, as always, stands Stephen Curry. Night after night, Curry continues to be the heartbeat of this offense, the gravitational force that bends entire defensive schemes in his direction. And what's remarkable is that this doesn't feel like a veteran simply holding on to greatness. This feels like a superstar still pushing boundaries. His recent performances have shown that he's not just maintaining his elite level, he's actively elevating it. Against teams like Utah, the blueprint is clear. Spread the floor. Increase the pace. Force mismatches. And then let Curry do what only Curry can do. When he finds even a sliver of space, the shot goes up with confidence, speed, and that unmistakable arc that has become iconic across the basketball world. Utah might have size. They might try to control the paint. But the Warriors have proven time and time again that spacing, ball movement, and relentless off-ball motion can neutralize height. Watching the offense flow when everything clicks is still basketball poetry. The system thrives on confidence, and Curry's presence opens lanes, creates confusion, and turns simple passes into instant scoring opportunities. But the challenge comes on the road. Focus wavers. Overconfidence creeps in. And teams like the Jazz, even when missing key players, are dangerous if they build early momentum. Golden State has learned the hard way that talent alone doesn't win road games. Discipline does. Energy does. Execution does. That's why the upcoming stretch is so critical. Coming off a relatively favorable matchup, the Warriors now look ahead to a very different test against Detroit. This is not a finesse matchup. This is physical. This is aggressive. This is grinded out basketball. And at the center of that challenge stands Jalen Duren. His presence changes the dynamic completely, especially in one-on-one situations against Draymond Green. That matchup alone could set the tone for the entire game. Draymond's toughness, intelligence, and ability to read the floor will be tested. Duren brings raw power, athleticism, and relentless energy. This isn't just about scoring. This is about control. Who controls the boards? Who controls the paint? Who dictates tempo? These are the kinds of matchups where experience becomes invaluable. Golden State's veterans know when to push and when to pull back. They know how to bait defenses, manipulate coverages, and force mistakes without rushing possessions. Still, execution will be everything. A slow start against a physical team like Detroit can snowball quickly. The Warriors cannot afford lapses that allow the Pistons to dictate pace early. They must impose their style from the opening tip. Looking deeper at the roster, the dynamics are fascinating. There is undeniable talent across the board, but there's also uncertainty. Players like Jordan Poole and Moses Moody have flashed brilliance, sometimes explosively, but consistency remains elusive. And because of that, the team still leans heavily on the core of Curry, Green, and Klay Thompson to stabilize everything. Rotations continue to be shaped by injuries, matchups, and long-term planning. The coaching staff is constantly balancing the urgency of winning now with the responsibility of preparing for what lies ahead. And few players represent that tension more than Jonathan Kuminga. With Jimmy Butler sidelined, A window has opened. Kuminga now has a real opportunity to increase his role, expand his minutes, and show what kind of impact he can make on both ends of the floor. This isn't just about filling gaps. This is about proving value. How he handles this stretch could influence not just his role this season, but how the organization views him moving forward. The Warriors are at a crossroads when it comes to roster management. Do they commit fully to the current group and focus on internal development? Or do they make bold moves to raise the team's ceiling? Every option carries consequences. Every decision ripples into the future. Maximizing player value has become a central theme. With the trade deadline approaching, the front office faces pressure to act decisively. Whether that means retaining Kuminga and betting on growth, packaging assets for established contributors, or addressing weaknesses at specific positions, the clock is ticking. One name that continues to surface in discussions is Andre Drummond. His rebounding, physical presence, and experience address a glaring issue. The Warriors have struggled at times to secure offensive rebounds and generate second-chance points. For a team built on spacing and shooting, those extra possessions are gold. Adding a physically imposing center could completely change the flow of games. Curry's perimeter threat becomes even more dangerous when the team can extend possessions. Offensive rebounds reset defenses. They create chaos. And they open the door for clean looks. A strong interior presence would also ease the burden on smaller forwards and guards who have been asked to do too much on the glass. Beyond individual names, consistency remains the overarching concern. The Warriors' reliance on three-point shooting is both their greatest weapon and their biggest risk. When shots fall, the scoreboard explodes. When they don't, defensive intensity often suffers, and transition defense becomes vulnerable. Watching games where Curry and Klay are in rhythm is a reminder of how devastating this team can be. But the supporting cast must complement that firepower with smart decisions. Shot selection matters. Defensive rotations matter. One reckless possession can swing momentum in the wrong direction. Draymond Green remains the anchor defensively. His communication, positioning, and ability to orchestrate the entire scheme are invaluable. But even the best defensive systems collapse if teammates miss assignments or fail to rotate with urgency. This team's success depends on balance. Offensive brilliance paired with disciplined defense. Veteran leadership blended with youthful energy. Trust in the system reinforced by accountability. Trade speculation continues to swirl, especially around Kuminga's role. The back-and-forth debate reflects the complexity of managing a roster filled with talent at different stages of development. Contract situations, positional flexibility, and long-term planning all factor into these decisions. These aren't just basketball choices. They are franchise-shaping decisions. Who to keep, who to move, who to invest in. Each choice influences the Warriors' trajectory for years to come. Recent games have highlighted how fragile rhythm can be. Curry remains nearly unstoppable, but efficiency across the roster fluctuates. Supporting players must refine shot selection and resist the temptation to settle for early threes without ball movement. Defense, once again, is the separator. Every lapse leads to easy points. Every miscommunication costs momentum. The Warriors must recommit to defensive discipline if they want to be taken seriously as contenders. As the season pushes forward, every game becomes a test. Utah, Detroit, contenders, underdogs. Each matchup offers a chance to refine strategy and build chemistry. Playoff basketball demands execution under pressure, and these games are the training ground. The broader narrative is impossible to ignore. Golden State isn't just fighting to stay competitive. They are fighting to redefine themselves after departures, injuries, and constant adjustments. Challenges have tested depth and adaptability, but they've also created opportunities for growth. Teams across the league have been maneuvering aggressively. Offers have been floated. Conversations have intensified. And through it all, Golden State has remained persistent. Championship pedigree. Strategic assets, financial flexibility, A vision tailored to maximize Giannis's unique dominance.